Today I'm asking the question, where is Tony Romo heading? What team is he going to be on next year? It's likely going to be the question of the year this off-season, and although Tony Romo isn't going to be a free agent, the word out already is that the Cowboys are willing to trade him and are willing to let him choose where he ends up going. The most important bit about where he lands is how much is he going to cost, and how much Romo is worth is an interesting question. Based on recent trades, he could go for as early as a first rounder like Sam Bradford, but I feel like a second or third rounder is going to be slightly more realistic because sure, there's going to be competition for him. He's a starting level quarterback, but that competition knows he's already surplus to requirements in Dallas, and he does have a bit of a spotty injury history over the last 2 years. When you consider his injury history and the teams that are going to be in the market for him, I don't think a first rounder is completely realistic, but you never know what these guys end up going for. If you're the team trading for Romo, you can't expect him to be around for more than 3 to 4 years. This is his 14th season in the league, and by that time he'll have played 18 seasons, the exact same amount as Peyton Manning. There's certainly teams willing to rent a quarterback for 3 to 4 years. After all, the Broncos got 4 years and 2 Super Bowl appearances out of Peyton Manning before he retired, but the kind of teams that tend to do that only tend to be one quarterback short of a Super Bowl team, and I don't know how many of those teams are out there right now. After saying that, there's an elephant in the room here. The Broncos stand out as the obvious choice. The Broncos with a healthy Tony Romo at quarterback, in my opinion, are going straight back to the Super Bowl, or at least challenging in the AFC Championship game next year. And as appealing as that may be to John Elway, there's something to consider here. Don't forget the Broncos just drafted Paxton Lynch in the first round this last draft. You don't draft your quarterback of the future in the first round 1 year, then trade away high round picks for a quarterback that's going to be starting for you for the next 4 years the next year. I mean, you could and they might, but it all depends on how well Lynch plays. Luckily, Lynch will be playing this Sunday, so we get to see him against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that could give us a good idea of whether they'll be in the market for Romo or not. Lynch plays very well? I don't think so. Lynch plays about as well as Simeon, and they may be looking at Romo. They weren't willing to pay Brock Osweiler last offseason, and although that looks like a good decision right now, Tony Romo is going to be eating $25 million a year in cap space on his current contract for the next 3 years. I'm sure he's willing to restructure his contract if he gets traded, but if Elway didn't want to spend the money before, I don't know if he will do now. On the other side of this are the Browns. They're a little bit more than one quarterback shy of a Super Bowl team, but they've been desperate for a high-level signal caller for I don't know how many years. This hasn't been mentioned a lot because I don't think it will happen for 2 reasons. As I mentioned before, Romo is apparently being given the choice of where he gets shipped off to, and I don't see him choosing the Browns. Perhaps more importantly, I don't think the Browns are going to want him. The front office right now is playing Moneyball, and trading for Tony Romo, a 14-year veteran, is not playing Moneyball. The team is going for youth, and now what I could see them doing is trading for AJ McCarron, who of course has played under Hugh Jackson with the Bengals. That trade would make no end of sense, and I'd love to see it, but of course the Browns do have Cody Kessler, who has been playing pretty well so far, so they may not even consider themselves in the market for a quarterback this offseason, although I think that would be a mistake. The New York Jets are another team. The Jets have been in the market for a quarterback for quite a while now and have resorted to free agency and trading in the past. In that regard, this makes sense, and Ryan Fitzpatrick proves that they're not worried about long-term sustainability when it comes to the position. They'd rather have a good quarterback for a couple of years than look out for the future. That said, they did just draft Christian Hackenberg in the 2nd round last year, and that's got to have them thinking twice about sending more draft ammo to the Cowboys for Romo. At the same time, I kind of see the New York Jets as a now or never team coming into the next few seasons. Brandon Marshall, Matt Forte, and Eric Decker aren't going to be around forever, and even that offensive line, which has some good players, isn't the youngest. Maybe trading for Romo makes sense here. It gives them 2-3 years of high offensive productivity, they have a good defense, and maybe they see that as their best chance of getting a Super Bowl before it's too late. Now, there are a few more teams being thrown around there. The Texans, which is ridiculous, I think it's just being thrown around for fun. The Chiefs, which I just don't see happening. And then there are the Chicago Bears, and I think this one is the one that makes the most sense. Cutler has no more guaranteed money left after this season, and Brian Hoyer is an unrestricted free agent. They can throw those two out and bring Romo in. Now, of course, I think they should bring Brian Hoyer back as a backup or even their starter next year possibly, but Romo would fit in well here in the sense that they've got the space for him. They no longer need to pay another quarterback a lot of money to be on that team, so Tony Romo can bite a bit of that cap space without really harming the rest of the team. Chicago isn't devoid of weapons, and finding the right guy to distribute the ball could turn the team around in a big way. The problem is that John Fox is building quite an impressive young squad here. Now, injuries have made them look a lot less impressive this season, but I believe the the foundations are there. If they were going to trade for a quarterback, I think Jimmy Garoppolo makes the whole world of sense. Bring the guy back to Illinois, make him a hometown hero, and you've got a whole bunch of years, 10 years with a franchise quarterback if he turns out to be one. More importantly, the Bulls have Jimmy G buckets, so why not bring another Jimmy G to the party and really get it going? Garoppolo offers the Bears a potential franchise quarterback for more than just 3 or 4 years, but then again, John Fox was the head coach at the Broncos when they signed their 4-year lease on Peyton Manning. Of course, Romo could always retire, which apparently is a possibility, but I think he'll be playing next year. We'd be having a very different conversation if Tony Romo was a free agent next year. Fact is, whoever wants him is gonna have to trade for him, and why not trade for someone like AJ McCarron or Jimmy Garoppolo, who is a lot younger and offers you a long-term quarterback, rather than trading for Tony Romo, who's got injury problems and is only going to be around for 3 to 4 years. Romo isn't the only viable starting quarterback available for a price, even if he is the best. That's why I think the best fit is the Broncos. The Broncos aren't necessarily looking for long term, so they don't care about Jimmy Garoppolo, they don't care about AJ McCarron. They have Paxton Lynch, and if they're serious, they still have Trevor Siemian. My money is on the Broncos unless Lynch seriously manages to prove himself. What we've seen this season is that the Broncos do need a quarterback that is a bit better than what they have now to truly succeed. Right now, they're out of the playoff race. That's not to say they can't get back into it, but I think if they miss the playoffs, Romo represents that chance to get straight back to the Super Bowl. The Broncos are going to start having to make some difficult decisions about who they're going to bring back on the team, as a lot of guys' contracts are running out at the end of this season and the next. Romo gives them a chance to have that same nucleus and go back to the Super Bowl, win another one, and then you kind of are happier to watch people walk away. You've got your 2 rings, and you can try and rebuild again, and you've got Paxton Lynch for that.